Hello, World of Metal viewers. This is Vikram Shankar, piano player of Silent Skies. Thank you guys for the chat. Thank you for listening to the album and for your kind words. Really appreciate it. We were hoping, of course, that people love the album. I think every artist hopes that people love the album, but you never really know until you put stuff out into the world and see how people feel. It's been really gratifying to see that people are resonating with the album and that people feel that it's a step up in quality and that we're offering something new that we didn't on the last album, which is, exactly what we were going for. I think one of the things that we were excited about working with Napalm Records is obviously they're a bigger label and they have that kind of might, that clout to get artists out there to a lot of viewers and a lot of listeners, which is awesome. But more importantly, I think Napalm understands that there is a world of metal audience members who appreciate different styles of music. They know that metal fans are open-minded. They know that metal fans love digging into different styles of music if there is some of that emotional core that they really resonate with, because I think a lot of metal fans love emotional music because so much of metal is emotional music. And Silent Skies is also very emotional. We're melancholic, we're dark, we have a lot of atmosphere, but we just don't have the heavy drums and guitars. But a lot of metal fans, I think, can still resonate with that emotional darkness, and Napalm knows that. They have a rich history of working with bands that aren't traditional metal but still have that crossover appeal, so we're stoked to be working with them. I think Silent Skies was never really a side project for the two of us. I think from the very beginning we wanted to make this something that was going to last and that was going to offer more than like a vanity project or something that's not really that interesting to us. We wanted to build something and explore some new ground and keep exploring new ground with subsequent albums. So, I think that it's always had a lot of importance in that way. We've always wanted to do something that wasn't just a one-off thing, but now that we're two albums in, we know that there's something special here, and we have creative equals in each other that we haven't really had in past projects. So there's something really special about the way that we work together. There's an energy, a creative synergy that's really special. So it's hugely important to us. For me, it's the most important thing that I do. I know for Tom, it's way up there as well. So we're going to keep doing this as long as we can. We're going to do as many albums as we can, hopefully take it live, and it's going to be awesome. Obviously, there's some level of psychological and emotional influence that the pandemic has when you make, I guess, any music, but especially music that's so personal and so reflective of our emotional states as Silent Skies is. There's always a little bit of that filtering in there, especially for Tom, who is a member of a very often touring band, and that was a big part of his life that was taken away for a few years. And we're kind of getting back into the swing of things now, but I'm sure that was very weird and very stressful for him. So that's part of it. But it's also that the pandemic was like a double-edged sword for us, because on the one hand, obviously it's awful, and I have the deepest sympathy for all the people who have been struggling with this and who have been affected, the lives lost. It's horrible. But also we were able to have a lot of time that we wouldn't have had otherwise. It's like the most time we've had to be creative in either of our careers, I think. So, when you have all that artistic energy that's normally expended out on the stage, and then you have all that artistic, creative mojo, and it's like you want to do something with it. So we holed up in the studio and we wrote Nectar, and we did a lot of other things as well. Like Tom did 3 albums last year between this, Redemption, and Evergrey, and I did a lot of albums as well. I worked on the Redemption album too. I've been so busy and so grateful to have work in a time when, so many people are struggling with that. So it's strange, and obviously there are negative aspects to the pandemic, obviously, and those affect us as well, just they do everybody else. But we've been strangely fortunate to have the amount of time that we had. So I guess Nectar is a pandemic album in more ways than one. You know, it's funny because we've always been interested in making music, not necessarily specifically for picture. I mean, we've always been interested in that. We were talking about getting sync deals to get, our stuff in movies and TV shows and stuff like that. So we've always been interested in that. But even before that, film music and music that's used for a visual medium is one of our biggest influences. We initially connected about artists like Olafur Arnalds and Max Richter and Nils Fram, and these are composers who very often write for TV and film. I mean, they all make albums as well, standalone albums, but they're best known for their work in TV and film, and we love that kind of music. And there's something very special and evocative about music that's written for film, that it's really focused on the emotion and the atmosphere and setting a vibe, and because it's purely functional music, it exists to create the vibe of the director's vision for the film or TV show or whatever it is. So we love that kind of stuff, and we wanted to bring that kind of vibe setting ethos into a standalone project that's not written for TV or film, but is written just to be an album that you put on the headphones and close your eyes and listen to for 45 minutes, something like that. And that being said, we would love to write something for TV and picture. Tom and I have already been working kind of in this vein because we've been working for an American company called Saber Interactive who make video games. And we've done now, I guess, 3 or 4 pretty high-profile games for them. And so we're working on functional music as well, like, creating music that fits a story and goes along with picture and sets a mood for, in this case, the player. So, we love that. The ability for music to evoke emotion and set an atmosphere and set a tone and really influence the way that you're feeling is something that's really, really special to us. So whether it's in film, TV, video games, or just for an album, I think we're always interested in that cinematic quality. That'll always be something important to what we do. Thank you guys for the chat. It was really nice fielding your questions. Really glad you enjoy the album. And everybody, thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. Cheers.